So, today we are going to be painting this. It's an Orb Weaver spider, and I think it'll be quite a cool painting. So, I don't think it's too difficult either for those that are beginners. So, I'll let me go through some of the supplies that you'll need. This is a 14 by 11 inch canvas panel I'll be using. I've got a decent sized flat brush here we're using for blending. We've got a script liner that I'll be using for the long thin bits for the webbing and on the actual spider itself, and this fairly thin rounded brush here. That got a palette here, got water, got primaries here. We've got blue, red, yellow, white, black, green. This is all the Liquitex basics, like set of 6 that I'll be using that I've got. You can use pretty much any version of these primaries, green, white and black though, whichever's easiest for you. And that's that basically. There's no particular drawing that's going to be done. We're going to literally get straight on with it. So also I'll be using this little spray bottle for water down some bits, but you can always just take water off your brush from the brush pot into anything that you need if you want to make the paint a little bit more watery or loose. And other than that, get yourself set up and ready, and then we're going to do some painting. So I'll pull the camera a little bit tighter to the canvas, and now I'm not going to do anything sophisticated here. I'm using the green. Just going to put little dabs on here. Not too much. A little bit of blue. Not too much. A bit of yellow. And quite a decent amount of white. Be sure not to go too crazy with this, because all we're doing is blending this in a second. So also don't want to do too crazy towards the middle, because I'll be covering that anyway. So get a big flat brush, and nothing complicated here, just literally back into get the blended colour down. If you feel like you're getting too much paint on your brush there, feel free to wash it off like I'm doing now. If you've got a rag or something, now's a good time to get it. Make sure you get rid of all the white of the canvas, not all the white colour, because obviously the white is quite nice to have in here to lighten these colours up, but the white of the canvas, get that gone. Right, well, once I've got that now, I'll just do long smooth strokes like this to kind of blend the colours in, create this kind of blurry soft background. Depending on how much your blobs weigh, you may have too much paint on the canvas panel. I've got a little bit too much now, I'm having to wipe it off there on my rag thing, on my clothes I'm using, because I'm wearing specialist, you know, just paint clothes that I'm happy to get covered in paint, so I'm not too precious about it. But if you are, definitely use paper towels or a rag or something to wipe your brush on. Try and be quite soft with this blend technique and go as far up the canvas as possible to create less indications of where you've started the brush stroke. So if you start here, it'll be obvious, so try and do the entire thing. And if you feel that there's anything that you need in here that you'd like, maybe put an extra bit of green or an extra bit of white or something in here, then feel free. See, this is, you know, there's an element of do what you want about this particular bit, because it's just background colours that we're blending in. I'm almost happy with mine. Just want to get rid of some of these marks here where it's very clear where the blending started. Right, I think I'm happy to leave it at that for mine. I'm gonna let that dry now, so once you get to yours that you're happy with, let it dry. So I'm gonna pause the video right now and you can come back when this is dry and we'll get going again in a second. So if you're done and you want to wait, and pause your video now. Right, so now that the blending is done and this surface of mine is dry, took a while, I'm going to get the white paint, put it in here. I'm going to have one like a normal blob and another one where I'm going to spray it slightly so it's a bit more fluid. There we go. And I will be using the script liner brush. And we're going to be getting some nice amount on the brush. I'm going to start from this corner. I'm going to work my way to about here for the, maybe just put a few dots around roughly where you want the center of the web to be. Mine's going to be about maybe there. I'm going to work out from there to that. I'm going to head out first of all this direction, so you might want to follow, you might want to not. I'm going to hold it midway there, be quite light with it. I'm going to aim for, if you want to make this easier in some regards, you can put little spots around the edge where you want to hit the webbing. So it's just going to come out from here to doesn't have to be a perfect line either, because we know webs are being made all the time. There are different angles to see the depth and thickness of them. Some get broken and all that, you know, it's quite hard to tell. So just try and get a fairly thin layer on. If it goes thick and thin in some parts, that's actually quite good for the look of the thing, looking more realistic. Some bits will intersect with one another as it's this is a web that's being built. The lines don't have to be straight either, because it wouldn't be for spiders working on it and pulling bits this way and that to try and, you know, manipulate it in order to build and get the pattern going. Okay, I'm just working on it, not too slow. I want to try and get a level of movement and but try and make the line sort of consistent, some of them, in terms of roughly where they're going around, as if it is something that's being made by an architect, which is, you know, Orb Weaver. The name's in the species, isn't it? In the subsect of the spider species, it's a weaver. I'm mainly using the one that's been sprayed a little bit because it flows a bit and it's slightly easier off the brush. And here where it's like the spider is knitting different parts together, I'm going to do it not straight but different parts overlapping, as if it's something that's been created and manipulated in some regard. Just trying to build a little interconnectedness of all this. Having fun figuring out where to go, not having to be too precise with any of the marks. Sort of fun, because it will get progressively more precise when we move into actually doing the spider. So it's good to get a bit of looseness on the go right now. Right, I think that's going to be my web there now. I'm going to put my brush in the water, rinse it off, and now I think it is time to go on to the small rounded brush, and we're going to use the white as we've already got it here. I'm going to do basically a love heart sort of shape around here. This is where I want my spider to be, but if you want yours slightly to the side here, slightly wherever you put the center of your web to be, put it somewhere around there. So I'm going to just do like a love heart shape for the main body of it, so I'm going to go for that. Or an acorn, I suppose it could be. Love heart, acorn, whatever you prefer. Then the head bit is going to be a trapeze. So if you're not don't want to jump straight into the drawing of this, like painting it on, you can like just draw a mark where you want it. Like mine, I want the head to go out maybe that far. So bring the body to about there. Then the head also connects there, so then that's there like that. So now we've got the basis of a head in a trapeze shape, and now we do the legs. I'm going to start by doing one all the way out. I'm going to start from the body bit there, go to about there, try and get 2 joints in it, and on this side similar, and the one on the sides are sort of smaller and curlier. So there we go. Then the ones at the front are similarly long, but they're going to be less straight than these, more of an angle. So, and it's going to be connected to this part. So, roughly where the bottom of the trapeze would be there, and that we've created. So. So there's my two legs on this side. Now's the time to add it on the other. Similar sort of pattern and style here. From here, let's do the back one. Kind of goes in between on this side because it's on slightly facing this way on the one I'm doing. So it goes from there. slight hint of a hook on the end of some of these to indicate where the little hook, pincery thing, whatever you want to go on the back of them is. Very light touch. Let's try and bring it to a point. Okay, and if you want to whiten that up a bit now, make it thick there. Once, if you're happy with it now, like I am there, and you sort of just let it dry. I'm just going to go over that a bit more. Okay then, I'm going to let mine dry a bit now before working on the next part, so let this body dry, then we're going to go over the outline and stuff with black. So see you in a second. Pause the video now if you want to let it, you know, you're ready to let it dry. If not, pause it, then you can finish. I'll see you in a second. Right, now I think we're ready to, now this bit's, the white's dried for me, it's time to push on. We're going to go back to the script liner brush. I'm going to do the same as what I did here for the white, but do it with black. Dab there, dab there, that I'm going to spray just to try and make it a bit more fluid. And now what we're going to do is go around the outside and do the dark spots on the spider. So first up, let's just go around the edge. You got to hold it a little bit closer than you were previously. Try and do it quite thin, not too much, and get to here, and then like do the hook. See, it's fairly slow and controlled with this. Made that a little bit too thick for my liking there. Try and make a thin bit there. That works better. slow, steady. Be quite gentle with touch. Don't press down too much with the brush. Last one. Okay, now. Around the top of the acorn love heart bit there. Do a bit. Do the weird little shapes here on the back, which are like two weird eyes or something on the back. Another bit here. Almost like the eyebrows. This weird little pattern on the back there. Then just add some definition and go around the edge of the acorn type shape there on this side. Some slight circles here to give a kind of sense of the circular spherical shape of the body here. There's no specific pattern, you can roughly follow what I'm doing, but if it's a little bit off it doesn't matter too much, because these types of spiders, they have all sorts of different patterns on the back. So don't want to go all the way on this trapeze head, I want to go there, because this will be where like the eyes are here in this bit here. going to go around here too. Add some definition, know what we're working with. Now we're going to do some black little stripes on the legs, do them at random points, do them in a slight curve in the direction of the leg so it looks like it's going round the leg. Although if it is just flat, it's not the end of the world. Had a bit too much there, so I kind of scratched away at the paint. Got most of it off. Shows that you need to be quite delicate in these bits here. Don't get too much paint on your brush. I'm going to leave that be for that right now. Put my brush in the water, mix it up, try and get all that black paint off. Get back to the small round brush, and now we're going to mix an orangey colour. I'm going to use some yellow and some red. Typically I'd say with this you use something like 2/3 yellow, 1/3 red, because red's a much stronger colour and it kind of overpowers the yellow, so you need more yellow to counteract it. You see the difference there in that. Mix them in. And see the power of the red, it still comes out quite bright in comparison. You'd expect it to be more yellow considering, but sadly that's not the case. That's actually a bit too orange for my liking, so I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to one side and then just bring some of this over. And that's the sort of roughly the sort of lighter orange I was looking for as the kind of base layer for the spider. So Here goes. It's alright if parts interact with the black and it looks a bit greeny. We'll go over the blacks again, just in the spots where it needs it, because of this. Because it's faster to touch up little bits at the end rather than to avoid it and try and be really intricate in this part now. Try and be quite light with this. Don't be too heavy-handed and get paint everywhere. Spider's starting to pop quite a lot though in comparison to the background. There we go. Got that mostly covered now. Alright, I'm going to leave it at that for the yellow now. And go and try and get some slight bit of red. Try and have some of this combo in one side there to kind of create something that's between orange and red here. Just there. Going quite light on bits. Feel like it's getting a bit dark, you can take a bit off with your finger if they feel like there's a bit too much paint on there. I feel like that. There you go. And add some bits to the legs. Doesn't have to be a specific way that you do this, they can be a bit random. No spider's going to have an exact pattern. So there's that. I'm going to have a few dabs of pure red on here. This area. One or two dots here. One or two bits on the leg. Just along the top there. Okay, and I think I'm happy with that now. Now what I'm going to do is go back in with the black again, so hopefully if like mine your black is going to be still fairly moist. So whilst some of that dries, the orange and yellow that we just did, I'm going to go in and do what we've done here with the white, only do a version of that with the black, only thinner and not as much. So if you consider that all the white there to be 100%, do maybe 70-80% in terms of coverage here. So it needs to try and do the lines thinner like this. You see that, like, and maybe not do every single one, just enough to give it like a dark side to the light in a lot of them. Just adds a bit of different colour and definition to the webbing, makes it kind of come alive a bit more. See, I'm not doing quite as much of black as I did of the white, but I am doing enough to make it stand out and pop. As you can see, I'm holding it fairly loosely, quite far back on the brush. Don't want to be too precise with this. Just trying to get a lot of the ones that would be on the underside, because they would be a bit darker under there. If the body's on top of where the light would be. I think that's all of them. So there's that. Looking quite good, I think. And now I'm gonna go over some of these that looked a bit green before. When I went over them with the orangey colour. Just a light touch. some slight darker element on this side, because the light's going to be more on this side. Some outline for where the eyes will be there, roughly. So there's that. It's getting very close to being done now on this bit. Right, now I'm going to move over to the, just do the outline a bit there and move on to the white. Basically doing the white highlights on this Orb Weaver. So I'm going to clean off this brush, clean it off really well, because we're just using black and obviously black is very strong. Wipe it off, try and get as much off as possible. Need some white. And I think I'm going to switch to the small brush now too, but I might do a bit of both, the small brush and the script liner we were just using then. Make sure they're both very clean, just to get some bits like quite thick dabs here. Do some on the legs. I feel like it needs a little bit of a thicker layer of paint on these bits. Okay, and now I'm going to switch to the script liner for some slightly thinner brushwork. It's going to need to be a bit more controlled, so Just gonna hold it a bit closer on the thing in order to be a bit more controlled with this. So do you want to get random stuff on here, random little dots. Very thin lines in here. Some hair and light highlights here from where the light might be. And the shine on the eyes there. A little bit on this bit. Got some red on my brush then. I need to get that off. Just a few dabs here and there. Don't need too much. Nice little details, maybe a little bit thicker stuff on these here. And maybe just a hint of on these little hooks. So, I think I'm virtually there now. I don't know what I want more to do. Maybe add the odd hint of a hair with this, like that. But yeah, there's only... quite like to re-extend this again. Make them a bit bigger. And yeah, I think that's pretty much that now, so I'd say I'm done. If you're not, obviously keep going, but let me bring it up now. So that has been this painting lesson, paint along lesson of this Orb Weaver spider. I hope you've enjoyed painting along with me. This has been fun. I like it, it's colourful. I hope you like yours too. If you're not finished yet, keep going, finish it. Do feel free to share your image with me, how it turned out. I'm available on social media platforms at Robbie Potter Art. It'll be in the bio, in the link thing below in the description where you can see it there. And see you next time in the next one. Have a good day, be kind to all kinds, and thanks for joining me to paint today.